Hello students, myself Raminder Kaur. So this is the third video lecture of chapter number 8, Human Health and Disease. Today's topic is immunity. Immunity is very important because we are daily exposed to various kinds of pathogens that can be bacteria, viruses, etc. So all those infectious agents are surviving in the open environment, in food, water, etc. So if our body can defend strongly against these agents, then we can survive ourselves from these kind of diseases. So if our immune system is working, then only we will have a good immunity and we can prevent ourselves from so many kind of contagious and infectious diseases in our surrounding. Let's talk about the types of immunity. There are two kinds of immunity, innate and acquired. Innate means which is coming from birth. Acquired means which is taken up from the experience of life after birth. Let's start with innate immunity. It is a non-specific type of defense. Non-specific means if any kind of pathogens, they are coming to our body, they are not specific that which organ will fight. They are present at the time of birth. They are further divided into 4 different kinds. These are also known as barriers. So barriers means they will prevent the infection in our body and they will never allow the microbes to grow at the further direction. First of all, let's look first line defense and second line defense. During the first line defense, do any insects or microbes, mosquitoes are allowed to enter through your skin? Answer is no. So it is the very first line defense which will not allow any microorganism to enter. Then comes ciliated cells. There are some epithelial cells which have cilia on their body. They will not allow any entry of pathogens. Lysozyme. This is one kind of enzyme which is present in the tears of our eyes and even it will prevent the infection. Number 4, they have shown coughing. So whenever any foreign material by chance enters in our body has that feedback mechanism to throw those substances out by coughing. Last is vomiting. If sometimes we have taken contaminated food, so the stomach infection takes place and that contaminations can be thrown out with the help of vomiting. Second line defense means the inner body, organs, tissues and cells, how they are interacting with the pathogens. If they are not being treated by first line, then they will be followed by second line defense. So let's study all the kind of barriers in brief. First of all, it is called as physical barrier. The main barrier is skin that will avoid entry of microorganism. Number first in this, all the tracts, all the channels. Number first, respiratory system, the lungs, trachea, pharynx, larynx, all these are coated by a fluid known as mucus. Number second, gastrointestinal tract, the digestive system, starting from the stomach till the intestine. It is again coated by a mucus. Number third, urogenital tract, the reproductive system. It is also coated by a mucus. This mucus will never allow the entry of the microorganism. But by chance, if some microbes are entering through respiratory channel, gastrointestinal channel or urogenital tract, then they will be dealt by physiological barriers. In this, we have hydrochloric acid in our stomach with very low pH. Then salivary amylase, enzymes are there in the mouth and tears having fluids in the eyes which will not allow any growth of microorganisms. Number third is cellular barriers. Our blood consists of white blood cells which are participating in the immunity of our body. So one kind of WBCs are neutrophils. These neutrophils, monocytes and the different kind of lymphocytes, they will act as a macrophages which will phagocytose and destroy the microbes. Now, what are these macrophages? These are the special cells which will eat the infection. Infection can be bacteria, virus, fungus. Phagocytose, you can note down. Killing and eating the infection is called as phagocytose. Let's study this phagocytosis mechanism. First is binds with the pathogen. Who will bind? Phagocyte will bind. We can either call it as a macrophage or you can say it as a phagocyte. The procedure is similar like the amoeba. How amoeba engulf the food particles from its surrounding with the help of pseudopodia called as false feet. Similarly, there are specific sites of pathogen binding on the phagocyte. So whenever they will bind with the phagocyte, they will engulf it, then the fusion takes place, and at the end they will get killed with the help of T helper cells, which are helping in fighting and killing these microorganisms. Number fourth kind of barriers are cytokine barrier. Whenever virus infection takes place in our body tries to treat it naturally. All the virus infected cells, they start secreting proteins. These proteins are called as interferons, which will further protect the non-infected cells from any further infection. But if the situation is critical, then these interferons are produced in less number and our body shows different kind of symptoms which can only be treated by general medication. So this was regarding the different kind of barriers in innate immunity. Before studying this, let's study the types of immunity in brief. So, there are two kinds of immunities, innate and acquired. As already discussed about innate immunity, this is with birth. So, we are getting this innate immunity from our parents with our body. Organs, tissues and cells of the immune system that you are born with. It can be skin, it can be mucus, it can be stomach acid, it can be saliva, cytokine barriers, physiological barriers, and even the different kind of WBCs. Now let's study acquired immunity. This is the immunity that develops during your lifetime. This is not taken from birth. This is further divided into two parts: active immunity and passive immunity. Active immunity is a kind of immunity that develops in response to an infection. Like here, I will give you one example. Suppose you are suffering from a chicken pox. What will happen? That chicken pox will take almost 2 weeks to recover. So your body will start developing antibodies by itself because those virus has entered in your body, and in response to recover from those kind of infections, your body will start producing antibodies. So it is a natural kind of active immunity that has developed in response to an infection. Artificial. Whenever, as from a childhood, you have got different kind of vaccinations. It can be smallpox or polio. All those vaccinations have provided weak or dead antigens in your body. Then your body started developing antibodies in response to those vaccinations. So this is again a kind of active immunity. Why it is said that if a person suffers from a chickenpox once in a lifetime, it will never happen again, because once your memory cells of WBCs stored the memory of the infection, that which kind of antigens in response to which kind of antibodies will be made, then those infection will never happen. So when the second time the same virus will come in your body will respond at a faster rate. Now let's study about the passive immunity. Passive immunity means it develops after you receive antibodies from someone or somewhere else. Let's take an example. A person is bitten by a snake. During that, will you provide antigen to the person or you will provide antibodies? Yes, your answer will be we will provide as soon as possible the antibodies against that infection or the toxin. So that is coming under passive immunity. A child who is drinking a breast milk from her mother, that is, the antibodies are directly passing from the mother to the child. The very first milk is called as colostrum. It is yellow in color and it is rich in antibodies called as immunoglobulins. That is called as natural. Naturally it is coming, but artificially when the person is suffering from any disease during like a snake bite, so we have provided a medicine of antibodies. This is called as artificial passive immunity. Let's talk about in brief about acquired immunity. As we have studied, innate immunity is not pathogen specific, but acquired immunity is pathogen specific. Special antibodies will be producing against certain bacterial infection, then some another antibodies will be made against viral infection. So here memory is required. There are two kind of lymphocytes which are produced in the body. One are called as B lymphocytes and other are called as T lymphocytes. One are fighters and other are memory receivers. So this means when our body encounters a pathogen, encounter mean suppose any bacteria enters your body and you are suffering from a fever. During that sudden increase in temperature, our body is naturally fighting. This is called as encounter. So very first time when the pathogen enters in our body produces a response. That response is of very low intensity. Why so? Because it will take time to recognize the type of antigen and which antibody will be produced against it. This is known as primary response. Now, when for the second time the same infection, same pathogen will come, body has already memorized the kind of antigens and which antibodies will be produced. This subsequent encounter will be more intensified and this is called as secondary or amnestic response. So this is possible in chickenpox case. That's why it is said that once your body gets the infection of chickenpox, it will never happen again. Means again if that virus is coming, your body will fastly react to that antigen and produce the more intensified result. So we have talked about B and T lymphocytes. B lymphocytes produce an army of proteins in response to the pathogens into our blood to fight with them. But T lymphocytes are those ones, they do not secrete antibodies, but they are the helpers. So they will help, they will memorize each and everything. You can see a structure of an antibody molecule. It is also known as Y-shaped antibody structure. If you see orange structure, that is called as heavy chain. So this heavy chain are in pairs, two heavy chains are there, and yellow and red color structures are light chains. The smaller chains are called as light chain and bigger chains are called as heavy chains. They are attached to each other with the help of sulfide bonds. You can see SS written, that is called as disulfide bond. On the top, both sides, there is specific structures called as antigen binding site. So whenever any pathogen will come, antigen is equal to pathogen. The disease causing microorganism is known as antigen or pathogen. So in response to that antigen, our body will secrete particular or specific antibodies. These antigens will bind to the specific sites of antibody. So if a virus has entered, then some different antibody will work. If bacteria has entered, then some another antibody will work. It means the shape of the antigen binding site will be changing from one kind of pathogen to the another. So it has two light chains and two heavy chains. That's why this structure is also known as H2L2 structure. Different type of antibodies can be produced. IgA, Ig means immunoglobulin. IgA, IgM, IgE, IgG. So these antibodies are found in the blood. So response is also known as humoral immune response. Second type is cell-mediated immune response or cell-mediated immunity. Let's read this cell-mediated immune response. So in this picture, you can see a macrophage. I told you already, macrophage is similar like phagocyte. So memory T cells, helper T cells, both are working. The receptors, they are binding to it. Then the killer T cell will come and it will kill the infection. The infected cell will get killed. either it will be thrown out of the body or it will get destroyed by those phagocytes. T lymphocytes mediate CMI. CMI means cell mediated immunity. There are certain times transplantations takes place. So during heart, eye, liver or kidney failure systems, transplantations are being done. Why is it that the organs cannot be taken from just anybody? What is that the doctors check? What do they check? The grafts from just any source. They cannot just take any donor and they will add on in the recipient's body. First of all, they have to match the tissue organ with the donor. Blood group matching are essential before undertaking any transplantation. This is due to antigen antibody response because body knows which cells are self cells and which cells are non-self cells. So to avoid this, we already studied immunosuppressive agents are provided such as cyclosporin A, which are given during the transplantation so that body can easily suppress the immune system and it can easily take any other organ from any other person. Humoral immunity. So we have studied when the blood has all the antibodies, so how it will bind to the antigen, pathogen has bound to it, they will replicate. Replicate means they will increase in number and memory B cells are there. Then those unique antibodies that bind with antigens and once they will fight and kill all those antigens from the body. Now let's talk about active and passive immunity. So I already told when naturally or artificially antibodies are produced in the body, that is called as active immunity. But when from outside source we are providing antibodies because there is some emergency condition, that is called as passive immunity. So for this can help you. Whenever any infection takes place in the body, suppose there is common cold, so your body will start preparing its own antibodies. So it is natural active immunity. Second, a child has born and we want to give him a polio vaccine. That is, antigens are given from outside and body will start making its own antibodies. This is called as artificial active immunity. Passive immunity is also of two types. Natural, when the child is drinking a mother's milk, that is, antibodies are directly passing from the mother to the child. Artificial means when there is any kind of emergency or critical situation such as any road accident, tetanus injection is given. So snake bite situation, that means antibodies are given from any other source from outside. This is called as artificial passive immunity. I hope this topic will be clear. Colostrum is the very first yellowish fluid that is secreted by mother and it is abundant in immunoglobulin A antibodies, which are very important for the child because the child has taken birth and he is required to get all the immunity from the mother. Next topic is vaccination and immunization. So this is a property of memory of the immune system. In vaccination, they are taking either weak pathogens or dead pathogens. These can be called as antigens also. So these vaccines are prepared from either animal body or from some other source and they are directly injected into the body of the human beings and our body will start preparing antibodies against that antigen that can lead to a mild fever also. These vaccines, they generate two kind of lymphocytes, B and T, that will recognize the pathogen quickly whenever the subsequent exposure will take place. So if the polio pathogen is coming into the body of the person who is already vaccinated, it means his B and T cells will work at a very high intensity and those pathogens will be killed at the same moment. So this was about the active and passive immunity as well as vaccination and immunization. So these techniques are playing important role to eradicate the pandemic situations also. So as we are also waiting, so whensoever the vaccine of COVID-19 will be available, we all will get a relief from it. Thank you so much.